Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I love this card. Came out pretty. Okay, I'm using basic gray, gray granite, and starry sky ink. I'm going to be using the Ringed with Nature stamp set. I'm using these two stamps and this stamp. Okay. I'm using the basic rhinestones, and I've colored a few with the alcohol marker. Now I didn't have the starry sky blend. That would probably work perfect, but I just used an alcohol marker to color those in. Okay, just bring this pile in and I'll start. I have a scrap of white. This is 3/4 of an inch wide. It just needs to be, I think it's like 6 inches, but that's to cut the fancy die with. I have a scrap of pear pizzaz, a scrap of soft suede, a scrap of white to stamp on. I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. This is the incolor 6x6 designer series paper, and these are 4 by 5 1/4. And this is I forgot what the name of this one is. The Snowflake 12 by 12 specialty vellum. Okay. And then I have my card base, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, I'm going to also be using the tree ring dies. And I just received these. These are the delicate edges dies. So from this 3/4 inch strip, I'm going to take this edge die here, right close to the edge like that, here on this edge, because this edge doesn't cut. And you're going to run that through and you're going to get this. Okay, then I cut one of the soft suede and one of the pear pizzaz from each one of these dies. I'm going to bring in my snips. And I'm going to cut the leaves off of these. Just going to snip those leaves off. Try to keep them with the appropriate, it's sticking to my fingers, the appropriate one. And then I'm going to glue these onto the top of here. So let's go ahead and get these all snipped off. I'm trying to not have just a harsh line there. I'm trying to make it so that it actually looks like a leaf. Okay, we're not going to need the branch part of the pear pizzaz ones, just the leaf part. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my glue. I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue on. Whoops, that's a little bit much. And then I'm just going to take my leaves and glue them on there. You could put the glue on the back of the leaves, that would work as well. I just found it easier, especially with these little ones, to just put a little tiny bit of glue there. I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool. That worked very well, except these ones are upside down. That's the wrong way. Okay. So we're going to set these aside for a minute. Let those dry. I'm going to move them up here. So I can move my dies out of the way. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my trimmer. This is a little bit of a fussy card because there's not dies for the flowers or the house, so you have to fussy cut them out, but it's alright. I'm going to bring in these two. I'm going to stack them on top of each other so the right sides are both facing up. I'm going to bring in a pencil. And on this side here, I'm going to measure over 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to measure over 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to make a little tick so it doesn't have to be exact. And the reason I came up with that is because when you're laying your this over the top, I wanted all of this design to show. So that space there was about 3/4 of an inch. So that's how I came up with that. And then on this side here, I'm going to do the same thing. 3/4 of an inch, make a little tick. You could do that with your, oh, you can't even see. Okay, so I just 3/4 of an inch on this side, and then here on this top side. So here and here are marked, okay? Now I'm going to line those up in the trimmer. I'm going to line that tick mark here, make sure that's in the track. Make sure this one's in the track here. Hold it down and cut them both. Okay, so we have the two pieces. So we're going to use this piece here for this card. This, you can use it for a different card. And then I'm going to use this piece here. And this piece will be for a different card. Okay, so we got that done. Put that aside. Alright, now let's do our stamping. And what did I do with my minute? Alright, that. These I've already done, I just needed to show you. Okay, so we're going to start with the basic gray in the house. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp that. See if we can get a better impression. That should be better. Oh, it's got a cat hair on it. Why am I not surprised? I found one of them on the floor. My one cat's decided she wants to knock everything off my table every day, multiple times a day. Try that one more time. going to go to gray granite and the roof, and in fact, let's go ahead and wash these all so I have nice impressions in case they all have cat hair on them. I think I'm going to have to start putting my stuff in bins as I'm working so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, now we're going to line this up best we can. We have a little bit of space, that's alright too. Stamp it. Perfect. Okay, now if you had a little bit of space, too much space, you could come in with your smoky slate marker and fill it in. And that's what I had to do on this one. I don't think you can even see it. Okay, now I'm going to bring in Starry Sky. I'm going to stamp this flower. It's supposed to be a poinsettia, but I think it's very pretty in this blue color. I'll go ahead and stamp 3 of those. Beautiful. Okay, we're done with the ink. Now we're going to bring in our snips and we're going to fussy cut these out. For the house, I didn't leave any space around, but you could. They're really very simple to cut out. They're all straight cuts for the house. Probably should have done this prior, but I wanted you to see it's really not difficult. Okay, there's the house. Now we're going to cut out these flowers real fast. Just going to cut out the one and then I'll cut the other 2 off camera. So you don't have to sit here and watch me fussy cutting out 3 of them. I don't particularly love fussy cutting, but sometimes it's necessary to get the effect you want, especially if you don't have a die. Okay, I cut out the one. I'm going to go off camera and cut out the other 2, and I'll be right back. Okay, got those cut out. So now we have all of our pieces so we can assemble this card. Okay, so we're going to bring in our card base. We're going to start with these 2 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and mount this one first. And it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch border around the edge, because it's a 1/4 inch. The original piece was a 1/4 inch smaller than the front of the card. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and dot some glue on the back of each here and there on this. I'm trying to go behind where those spots are. Oops, I missed that one. But you can see the silver spots from the back look like little gray spots. So I'm just trying to dab where those are so that the glue's not going to show from the other side. I don't think it'll be too noticeable anyways, but okay, that's pretty good. Okay, then we're going to line this up right next to this. Got a little bit of space between them, that's alright too. Okay, now we're going to bring in this piece. That's going to go right over the top of that seam. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue across here. And just a little bit on these bigger areas here. Just little dots. Like that's too much, but can't see it. Okay, we're gonna set that down right over that edge. Now it's gonna be a little bit longer, so I'm gonna just come in with my snips, trim it like that diagonally. Right here as well. Okay, then make sure that's pushed down well. Okay, so that's the base of the card. Now we're going to take 2 of these flowers, put a dimensional on the back. I'm just putting 1 dimensional in the middle, on the back. Whoops, backing came off, but the dimensional didn't. Okay, so I'm going to tuck 1 here, put 1 there. I'm going to tuck 1 underneath it, like that. Now I'm going to glue my little house down, tucked in underneath them. Right in there. Okay. This flower will get glued down. And it kind of got tucked underneath this house a little bit. So right there. Okay, then I'm going to take these sprigs. I'll just put the glue on the back of the leaves. This one goes over here. This one has the branch going up. It's going to go right here. Kind of giving that house something to sit on. Oh, excuse me. On this one here. Go right here. I'm going to try and not have them hanging off the edge. Okay, then this one gets in between there. And right there. Come on, stick. There we go. All right, then I finished it off with some gems. And again, if you had the Stampin' blends that were this color, that would be perfect. I ended up using one of my Copic markers because my 9M Navy didn't quite work. Okay, so I took one big one, put it over here, one small one, put it up next to it, and another small one down here to make that visual triangle. And there's our card. Here's the one we just made together. And here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Have a great one, everyone.